Você consegue me ouvir? Como a gente discutiu hoje, como a professora apresentou, a gente tem muitas oportunidades de participação popular, participação pública por parte dos cidadãos em ambos os países. Nós, como operadores do direito, ou como pessoas que trabalham diretamente com a área, a gente tem essa consciência, né? E toda vez que a gente fala sobre participação pública, então parece que é um conceito universal para efetivamente os cidadãos dos países, o que não é exatamente uma realidade, pelo menos no Brasil, né? Muito desconhecido para os leigos as formas que a gente tem de acesso à justiça, seja por uma ação constitucional, uma DIN, ou enfim, como isso é nos Estados Unidos e quão prejudicial isso é efetivamente para o acesso, esse acesso ao governo, às leis, né? Essa seria a pergunta.
Okay, yeah, that is a very good question. Thank you for asking. Oh, confused. I want to answer that question in two ways. First, I want to talk about why public participation is important, because I think we sometimes forget the good reasons. We think it's just good because it's good, because philosophically we like people should participate, but I think we need to be very pragmatic. And then I want to talk about how people have learned to have access in the US, because I think there's a particular important story to tell. Briefly, why public participation is not just because we're warm and fuzzy. It's not because we just like to make people feel good. In fact, if you want to make very good environmental management, it's better to have a dictator. One person who is very smart and very benevolent can make all of the changes all at once. It's much more efficient. If you make me queen of the world, all the water will be clean very quickly. I got that covered. I don't need any help. But we use public participation for two distinct reasons. The first reason is because it makes the decisions better. We're not doing it to make people feel good. We're doing it because it makes the decision better. I may think I have all of the answers, but more people together can inform my decisions. So we're actually looking to crowdsource information. When we create public participation vehicles, we need to create them to be information vehicles. That, frankly, is the #1 reason to do it. Second, we have public participation even when it doesn't make an efficient decision, because it helps people comply with the decision. People are more apt to comply with a decision that they help to make, or that they feel was made fairly. And so when we design participation regimes, we need to design them in a way that people feel like they had an opportunity to comment, they understand why the decision was made, even if it is not the decision they liked, and they are apt to comply with the conclusion. And that's a psychological basis for public participation. Both are important, and I think we need to be highly pragmatic about those two purposes when we create participation avenues. Very often when we create participation avenues, we create avenues that are for protest. We give an opportunity for everyone to shout into a microphone about why the agency is doing something wrong. But that's not actually public participation, and we need to stop calling it that. That is an opportunity for demonstration. Or we give an opportunity for the public to plead with the agency, to beg the agency to do something, and the agency holds all the power. Again, I don't consider that to actually be public participation. Pleading for something is not participation. Creating a better law and creating a law that I believe was created fairly, so I will follow it, that's why we do it. And as we create institutions for participation, that is critical. I talked about the process where citizens may comment on agency regulations. That process tries to achieve both of those goals. It gives an opportunity for people to submit substantive information to make the rule better. It also creates an opportunity for people to see exactly how the decision was made. They may say when they see the whole process, I wouldn't have chosen that, but I can at least see the agency's logic. At that time, we have a much better opportunity for compliance. People are much more apt to follow the law. And I think we need to keep those two things in mind every time we design opportunities for participation. But you asked how we can let the public know that they can participate. Honestly, that's a problem in the United States too. And you can't make people participate. That actually itself is a violation of participation when you force participation. But I want to tell you a brief story about what I think was the most successful mechanism ever. And it's actually a lawsuit that began in Vermont that is now perpetuated across the United States. This happened more than 15 years ago now. In Vermont, the state of Vermont was the first state to allow gay people to get married. And this is how it happened. There was a very carefully planned series of lawsuits. 3 gay couples went to their town, asked for marriage licenses. The town clerk said no. They sued to be given a marriage license. All of the town clerks had been warned this was going to happen. This was carefully orchestrated. They sued. This lawsuit went to the state Supreme Court. States are allowed to manage marriages in the states. The state Supreme Court said this is a violation of equal protection and told the legislature to create a law to make gay couples equal with straight couples. The important part of this story for public participation is that the lawyers, before they ever filed the first lawsuit, and a year, 2 years, 3 years before they ever had to go to the legislation, hired a public relations firm and hired psychologists. And they said there is no way this very important social move will occur if we don't have people participating and feeling good about every step in the process. So the entire legal strategy was designed with public relations people and with psychologists. And it was carefully planned so that every opportunity for the public to participate was designed in a way that the public would feel involved in the decision and would believe that the decision was reached fairly. I think there's a lot to learn from environmentalists. I think there's a lot for lawyers to learn from that example. Lawyers often think we are the smartest people. We can bring the best kind of process. We can speak to the cameras and tell people why they should participate. And sometimes we are the worst people. First of all, we talk too fast and we use big words. Second of all, we are involved because something in ourselves has motivated us, and we get annoyed with people who aren't like us. And I think that annoyance can show. I think we should deploy social scientists and psychologists and media relations people to help us craft our strategies and help us craft strategies that invite the public in, that make the public feel good about participating. Frankly, we shouldn't be allowed to talk about that. We're not the ones that are good at that. There are professions who are very good at that. And I think to encourage the public to attend, we need to talk, let's look at the advertisers. The advertisers know how to get people to buy brands. Why are we reluctant to use the same tactics to get the public to be involved in the decisions that affect them? I think we really need to use our other professions and our colleagues to help us craft good public participation opportunities. Does that answer your question?